Former White Sox closer and 2005 World Series champion Bobby Jenks died on Friday after a battle with cancer. He was only 44 years old. The announcement sent ripples through the baseball world and beyond, evoking memories of his towering presence on the mound and the heart he brought to every game he pitched. For many, Jenks was more than just a ball player. He was a story of redemption, resilience, and raw talent that burned bright, even if far too briefly. Born on March 14, 1981, in Mission Hills, California, Bobby Jenks didn't take the traditional road to stardom. His journey to the major leagues was filled with detours, hardships, and battles that started long before he ever faced a batter in a professional uniform. Raised in a modest household and surrounded by life's unpredictabilities, Jenks discovered baseball not just as a sport but as an outlet, a way to channel the weight of the world into something powerful and purposeful. By the time he was a teenager, it was clear that Jenks had a gift, a fastball that could scorch the air and a presence on the mound that demanded attention. But talent alone wasn't enough. Jenks struggled academically and faced disciplinary issues that would eventually lead him to drop out of high school. That setback could have been the end of the road for many, but not for Jenks. He attended junior college and was eventually drafted by the Anaheim Angels in the 5th round of the 2000 MLB draft. Despite his obvious physical talents, Jenks faced a slew of injuries and setbacks in the Angels organization, including elbow problems and questions about his maturity and discipline. Eventually, the Angels released him in 2004, a move that could have spelled the end of his professional aspirations. Yet that same year, the Chicago White Sox saw something in him that others had either missed or given up on. They claimed him off waivers, and in that pivotal decision, Jenks found a second chance, one he would seize with both hands. The following season would go down in history, both for the White Sox and for Jenks himself. Called up in July 2005, Jenks made his major league debut at the age of 24. His fastball routinely clocked in the high 90s, and his imposing 6'4", 270-pound frame gave him an aura of intimidation. But beneath that exterior was a man just beginning to believe in himself again. 2005 postseason would etch Jenks' name into baseball lore forever. He became a central figure in the White Sox's historic run, which ended an 88-year championship drought for the franchise. Fans remember that run with a kind of reverence. It wasn't just that the White Sox won, it was how they won. Dominating series after series, they swept the Houston Astros in the World Series, and Jenks played a crucial role in sealing that legacy. With ice in his veins, he earned 4 postseason saves and posted a 2.25 ERA, performing under the kind of pressure that would make lesser men crumble. Perhaps no moment captured Jenks' brilliance and impact more than the 9th inning of Game 4 of the 2005 World Series. With the White Sox on the brink of their first title since 1917, manager Ozzie Guillen turned to the rookie fireballer to close it out. The stakes couldn't have been higher, and Jenks delivered. Fans remember the electricity of that moment, the roar of the crowd, the tense silence between pitches, and then the explosion of joy as the final out was recorded. It was one of those timeless moments in baseball, one that would be replayed and remembered for decades to come. Jenks had gone from a waiver claim to a World Series closer in just over a year. White Sox chairman Jerry Reinsdorf reflected on that moment with visible emotion. "We have lost an iconic member of the White Sox family today," he said. "None of us will ever forget that 9th inning of Game 4 in Houston, all that Bobby did for the 2005 World Series champions and for the entire Sox organization during his time in Chicago. He and his family knew cancer would be his toughest battle, and he will be missed as a husband, father, friend, and teammate. He will forever hold a special place in all our hearts." Jenks' career continued with the White Sox until 2010, during which time he racked up accolades and built a reputation as one of the most formidable closers in the game. He was selected as an All-Star in both 2006 and 2007, a testament not just to his talent but to his consistency. In 2007, he tied the MLB record for most consecutive batters retired, a staggering 41, matching a feat previously accomplished by legendary closer Jim Barr. His ability to dominate hitters was something few could replicate, and his performances became the stuff of legend on the south side of Chicago. But behind the mound, Jenks was waging battles few could see. Physical pain, mounting injuries, and the immense pressure of professional sports took a toll on his body and his mind. He struggled with back problems and in 2011 underwent surgery while with the Boston Red Sox. That procedure, however, would become a turning point in Jenks' life, not in the way he had hoped. A surgical error caused complications that would lead to infection, additional surgeries, and the premature end of his baseball career. He would later file a malpractice lawsuit, citing negligence during the operation. The physical pain was real, but so was the emotional weight of watching his career unravel not by choice but by fate. By 2012, Jenks' playing days were effectively over. For someone who had fought so hard to get to the top, it was a cruel ending. But his story didn't stop there. Retirement forced Jenks to confront other demons. He openly battled substance abuse, particularly with painkillers which he had become dependent on due to his chronic injuries. In interviews, Jenks spoke candidly about his lowest points, nights where the pain and the pills seemed to blur the lines between living and merely surviving. His honesty about those struggles won him a different kind of respect, not as a player but as a man willing to bare his soul in hopes of healing. In time, Jenks found a new path. He turned to coaching, working with young pitchers and sharing his knowledge and experience. It was his way of giving back, of ensuring that his hard-earned wisdom didn't go to waste. He coached at the high school level and eventually joined the Grand Junction Jackalopes, a collegiate summer league team, as a pitching coach. He found joy in mentoring the next generation, many of whom saw him not just as a coach but as an inspiration. Jenks was also a family man. He was deeply devoted to his children and his wife, whom he adored. In recent years, he moved to Portugal to be closer to her family, seeking peace, distance, and perhaps a slower pace of life away from the spotlight. It was there that he continued to battle adenocarcinoma, a form of stomach cancer that he faced with courage and dignity. Those closest to him say he never lost his sense of humor or his love for life, even as his body weakened. To those who knew him, Bobby Jenks was a paradox, both larger than life and deeply human. He could intimidate a batter with a 98 miles per hour fastball one minute and then crack a self-deprecating joke the next. He was a teammate's teammate, someone who wore his heart on his sleeve and never shied away from a challenge. His presence in the clubhouse was felt as much as on the mound. Even during his darkest days, he inspired others with his resilience. In the end, it wasn't the fastball or the saves or the strikeouts that defined him, but his unwavering spirit. Bobby Jenks lived his life like he pitched, with intensity, heart, and the kind of fire that couldn't be taught. He showed the world that redemption is possible, that second chances can lead to greatness, and that even in the face of pain and adversity, you can still make people believe in magic. As the baseball world mourns his passing, tributes continue to pour in from former teammates, coaches, and fans. Social media lit up with memories of his iconic moments, the fist pumps, the towering strikeouts, the quiet leadership he displayed in the bullpen. But more than that, people shared stories of his kindness, his generosity, and his grit. He wasn't just a closer. He was a fighter, a survivor, and a symbol of hope. Bobby Jenks leaves behind a legacy that transcends statistics. His story is one of perseverance, redemption, and grace. He reminded us that greatness isn't about being perfect, it's about rising every time you fall. It's about making the most of every chance you get, no matter how late it arrives. And it's about facing life's final innings with the same courage you showed in your first.